Every building must have sufficient open space unless the local authority have of the opinion that in any particular case a space is otherwise sufficiently and permanently provided. 31. Open space not to be altered or roofed. The open space that provided in the building constructed in connection with this building by law was prohibited. Make or maintain any alteration, upgrading, and make a change in such open space. To build, construct, or to alter the roof over any portion of such open space. If the local authority is satisfied that the free movement of air is not impeded or hindered, the approval will be issued. Anyone that are acting in contravention of this part, local authority can by notice in writing to order to remove and dismantle any alteration. 32. Space about buildings abutting a street and big lane. The open space for building abutting a street and big lane should be residential building, not less than 1/3 of the built area, non-residential building, not less than 1/10 of the built area. For the purpose of calculating the open space required by paragraph 1 of bylaw 32, a two-story shop house that occupied by any NX should not be considered as built on area or open space. B. Half the width of the back lane abutting a building shall be counted as open space. C. Balconies, places which and sunshade may project over any open space provided they do not project than 1 meter. D. Open space provided between the street and the setback line of the terrace house can be counted as open space. Where open space not abutting a back lane is provided, it must have a mean clear dimension of not less than 2.5 meter.
Section 33. Space about buildings on lots abutting a straight and having no back lane. In the case of the building that do not having the back lane, the open space shall be situated at the rear of the building and extended until the full width or end of the lot. Section 34. Space about detached buildings. First, unless stated in Part 7, it required that detached building there shall be not less than 2 meter clear space measured between the extreme projection of the building and boundaries of its lot and 4 meter clear space between such building and any other building unless they are within the same building lot. Second, in this bylaw, semi-detached building will be considered to be one building on a single lot. Section 35. Access from a street. Every building that does not front a street must provide access from and to a nearer existing street or road. The access layout plan must be constructed in accordance with sound engineering practice and approved by local authority. Part 36. Split corner. Where a building is erected at the junction of two streets and in cases where the degrees of split or round off is not shown on the layout plan or any statutory amendment, modification or replacement thereof maintained by the competent planning authority, the corner of such building shall be split or round off to a height of not less than 5 meters above the street level at the point of intersection of the street line, so that no part of the building below this height shall project beyond the straight line drawn across the corner of the building plot joining each street line at a point 3 meters from the point of intersection of the street lines. Part 37. Projection over the street and over the building lines. For number 1, where buildings about on a street, projection over the street for open, veranda, balconies, sunshade or similar projection may be permitted on the following basis. Projection wide of street in meters minus 10 meters over 2. Provided that the maximum projection which may be permitted under this formula is 1.25 meters clear of the approved line of street. Number 2, projection in the nature of canopies over interest in excess of 1.25 meters may be permitted at the discretion of the authority. Number 3, all such projections shall be at least 5 meters above the level of the road. Between the level of 2.5 meters and 5 meters, projection not exceeding 500 millimeters may be permitted. Number 4, where a building line is prescribed for a street setback from the regular lines of street, projections above the ground floor over such building lines may be permitted provided that such projection shall not exceed 1.83 meters and shall not exceed one half the building frontage to the building lines. Part 38. Width of footway. Number 1. The width of any veranda, wheels or uncovered footway shall not be less than 2.25 meters but piers or columns to a maximum depth of 600 millimeters from the boundary of the street may be permitted on such veranda way or footway. Number 2. The width of the veranda way or uncovered footway shall be measured from the boundary of the street to the wall or other parts, not being an outside veranda pier of the building nearest the street, and all dimensions referred to in this bylaw shall be measured at the pavement level of the veranda or uncovered footway. For the purpose of this bylaw, any steps, threshold, or other structure opportune to a building shall be deemed to be part of the building though not directly connected therewith. Number 4. Where there is a change in level along the footway between adjoining lots, there shall be provided steps with riser not exceeding 150 mm and tread not less than 275 mm, or a pedestrian ramp of gradient not exceeding 1 in 10. And the last one for part 38, where a service road is provided, the footway required to be provided and constructed shall follow the line of the street.
39. Natural lighting and ventilation. 39.1. Every room designed, adapted, or used for residential, business, or other purposes, except hospitals and schools, shall be provided with natural lighting and natural ventilation by means of one or more windows having a total area of not less than 10% of the clear floor area of such room, and shall have openings capable of allowing a free uninterrupted passage of air of not less than 5% of such floor area. 39.2. Every room used for the accommodation of patients in a hospital shall be provided with natural lighting and natural ventilation by means of one or more windows having a total area of not less than 50% of clear floor area of such room, and shall have opening capable of allowing a free uninterrupted passage of air or not less than 10% of such floor area. 39.3. Every room used for the purpose of conducting classes in a school shall be provided with natural lighting and natural ventilation by means of one or more windows having a total area of not less than 20% of clear floor area of such room, and shall have openings capable of allowing a free uninterrupted passage of air of not less than 10% of such floor area. 39.4. Every water closet, latrine, urinal, or bathroom shall be provided with natural lighting and natural ventilation by means of one or more openings having a total area of not less than 0.2 square meter per water closet, urinal, latrine, or bathroom, and such openings shall be capable of allowing a free uninterrupted passage of air. 40. Air wells. 40.1.1. The minimum size of each air well, where provided in all buildings, shall be as follows. A. For buildings up to 2 stories in height, 7 square meters. B. For buildings up to 4 stories in height, 9 square meters. C. For buildings up to 6 stories in height, 11 square meters. D. For buildings up to 8 stories in height, 13 square meters. E. For buildings more to 8 stories in height, 15 square meters. 40.1.2. The minimum width of such air wells in any direction shall be 2.5 meters. 40.2.1. The minimum size of each air wells for lavatories, water closets, and bathroom shall be as follows. A. For buildings up to 2 stories in height, 3.5 square meters. B. For buildings up to 4 stories in height, 4 square meters. C. For buildings up to 6 stories in height, 4.5 square meters. D. For buildings up to 8 stories in height, 5 square meters. E. For buildings more to 8 stories in height, 5.5 square meters.
41. Mechanical ventilation and air conditioning. 41.1. Where permanent mechanical ventilation or air conditioning is intended, the relevant building bylaws relating to natural ventilation, natural lighting, and heights of room may be waived at discretion of the local authority. 41.2.
Any application for the waiver of the relevant bylaws shall only be considered if, in addition to the permanent air conditioning system, there is provided alternative approved means of ventilating the air conditioned enclosure, such that within half an hour of the air conditioning system failing, not less than the stipulated volume of fresh air specified hereinafter shall be introduced into the enclosure during the period when the air conditioning system is not functioning. 41.3. The provision of the third schedule to these bylaws shall apply to buildings which are mechanically ventilated or air-conditioned. 41.4. Where permanent mechanical ventilation in respect of lavatories, water closets, bathrooms, or corridors is provided for and maintained in accordance with the requirements of the third schedule to these bylaws, the provision of these bylaws relating to natural ventilation and natural lighting shall not apply to such lavatories, water closets, bathrooms, or corridors.
Minimum area of rooms in residential building. First, the area of the first habitable room in a residential building shall be not less than 11 meters square. The second habitable room be not less than 9.3 meters square, and all other rooms be not less than 6.5 meters square in area. Second, the width of every habitable room in a residential building shall be not less than 2 meters. Third, the area and width of a kitchen in a residential building shall be not less than 4.5 meters square and 1.5 meter, respectively. Rule number 43. Minimum dimension of latrine, water closet, and bathroom. In all buildings, the size of latrine, water closet, and bathroom shall be A. In the case of latrine or water closet which pedestal type closet fitting, not less than 1.5 meter by 0.75 meter. B. In the case of water closet which fitting other than pedestal type closet fitting, not less than 1.25 meter by 0.75 meter. C. In the case of bathroom, not less than 1.5 square meter with a width of not less than 0.75 meter, and in the case of bathroom with a closet fitting, not less than 2 square meter with width of not less than 0.75 meter. Rule number 44. Height of room in residential building, shop house, school, and others. First, the height of room in residential building other than shop house shall be A. For living room and bedroom, not less than 2.5 meter. B. For kitchen, not less than 2.25 meter. C. For bathroom, water closet, latrine, porch, balcony, veranda, garage, and light, not less than 2 meter. Second, the average height of room with sloping ceiling in residential building other than shop house shall be A. For living room and bedroom, not less than 2.5 meter. B. For kitchen, not less than 2.25 meter. C. For bathroom, water closet, latrine, porch, balcony, veranda, garage, and light, not less than 2 meter. Provided that not part of any room shall be less than 2 meter in height. Third, in shop house, the height of the ground floor room shall be not less than 3 meter, and the height of upper floor room shall be not less than 2.5 meter. Where the deep such shop house at any upper floor level is greater than 10.5 meter, the height of room on every such upper floor shall be not less than 2.55 meter. 4. In school, the height of room used for the dissemination of knowledge shall be not less than 3 meter headroom. 5. In hospital, the height of room used for the accommodation of patients shall be not less than 3 meter. 6. The height of any room in a factory in which any person works shall be not less than 3 meter headroom.
For Part 45, Places of Public Resort. In place of public resort of the provision of paragraph of Bylaw 46 should apply to water closets, lavatories, cloakroom, corridor, and rooms to which the public do not have access. The height of room other than water closets, lavatory, cloakroom, corridors, and rooms to which the public do not have access in place of public resort should be not less than 3.5 meter. Whereas a balcony is provided for a place for public resort, the height between the level of the topmost tier of the balcony and the ceiling over such topmost tier and between the floor immediately under the balcony and the underside of the balcony should be not less than 3 meter in case. For Part 46, height of room in building other than those specified in the preceding provision of Bylaw 44 and 45, height of room on the ground floor should not be less than 3 meter and on any floor above the ground floor should not be less than 2.75 meter. The last one for Part 47, projection over veranda wing. A veranda is rooftop, open, a gallery or punch attached to the outside of building. A veranda is often partly enclosed by railing and frequently extend across the front and side of the structure. Projection due to beam, stairway, screen, blind, or signboard above paved veranda and have at its minimum height 2.5 meter above the veranda way, facing may be permanently by local authorities.